Well, it's finally here, the Hyundai Inster. We first saw this back in October, November time. If you're a subscriber to our channel, we recommend you are, then you'd have seen our walk around video we did in the showroom at Blackpool. But it's actually here is the right-hand drive demonstrator. So we're going to take it on the road today, let you know what we think about it. At first look, I think it looks really cool. I mean, I liked it when I first saw it. I think it looks really chunky. It's got these sort of big pixel LED headlamps, these large, almost look a bit like rally spot lamps, which have got daytime running lights around the outside as well, and they've got the headlight beams in there. We've got the charging flap on the front here. The whole thing just looks a bit like it's made a bit of Tonka toy. It looks really chunky. We've got actually these sort of scallops and folds in here. It almost looks like it's been crafted out of a solid block of billet aluminium. This is the O2 spec, which is sort of mid-range on the car. The O1 is the entry level, and then there's a Cross, which has got a slightly higher specification. We'll talk about that later in the video. But on the O2 spec, you get 17-inch alloy wheels. You get the long-range 49 kilowatt-hour battery as standard on this, which gives a range of up to 223 miles if you've got these 17-inch wheels. We get the tinted privacy glass. We get really sturdy roof bars, which can hold up to 75 kilos. It looks a little bit from the side profile, a little bit like the Suzuki Ignis, but this is a bit bigger car. And actually, these rear doors give you really good access inside. Coming around the back, we've got shark fin antenna on the roof there. We've got this sort of rear spoiler, and then these pixel lights here. And then the circles continue, like the front ones we had with the spotlights. Here we've got these rear LED lights around the back as well. I think it looks really cool. I just think it looks really fresh and modern. I think that Hyundai have done a really good job with this. So on the inside, the O2 spec gets this grey cloth interior, but it's heated seats in the front, and it's got a heated steering wheel as well, which is nice. We get two 10.25-inch displays. This one for the driver display, the touchscreen for the infotainment system, which has got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and navigation built in as standard from the O1 spec. 12-volt socket here with a USB-C and USB-A socket. We've got a wireless phone charger here, hanging tab here for like a curry hook, hang your shopping bags on or whatever. We've got single zone climate control, that's standard across the range. Physical buttons for things like map, nav, track seek, volume controls and things, and the fan buttons up and down, temperature buttons as well. So the physical controls on this, I think they've done really nicely. They give you, rather than having to delve through loads of touchscreens, the things you're going to use quite frequently are all physical buttons, which is, I think there's going to be a return to that. I think a lot of manufacturers have sort of realised they went too far with touchscreens, and now they're bringing it back a bit. The steering wheel looks very similar to the one that I've got on my Hyundai Ioniq 5, with the controls laid out in a very similar place. We've got a drive mode selector which switches between eco, normal, sport or snow drive modes. We've got the stalk, same as you have on the Ioniq 5, to change between drive, neutral, reverse, or press the end of it for park. We've got the same paddles for changing the amount of regenerative braking. I really like it. I think that everything feels really good quality. Given the price point in this car as well, I mean, this is almost half the price of the Ioniq 5 that I've got. I think it's really impressive what they've managed to do. We've still got ambient lighting under here, which is cool. You can change the colour of that. Got an armrest which folds out of the way. We've got two cup holders. The front one is big enough for a Stanley Cup. The one at the back's slightly too small for that. Yeah, you can fit, I suppose. And a bit like a sort of old American car, this almost makes like a bench seat, so you can actually scoot from one side through to the other if you want to. We've got a big storage bin down here, storage buckets down here. They're not big enough to fit a water bottle in, but that one there definitely is. This on the side, these are the panels that you can customise, so you can get different ones of these as accessories, and you can swap with like a big crosshead screwdriver. You take these two screws out, and then you can replace that with one that holds photos, for example. But no, all of these seating feels, I mean, you know, it feels like a good quality office chair sort of fabric. You know, it's quite sort of grey marl, it's very nice. In the back of the Inster, this is where it surprised me the most, is how much space you've got. So that seat set for me, I'm 5'11". I'm sat on the back seat here, and look, I've got like 4 or 5 inches of knee room, and my feet could go all the way under the chair in front if I wanted to, but yeah, there's loads of room. These seats, you can adjust the backrest of them, so you can change the angle of the backrest, have a bit of a nap. It is a strict 4-seater, but no, it's loads of room. I mean, again, I'm comparing to, my son's got a Fiat Panda 4x4, and in that, if I sit in the back of that, my knees are squashed right up against the thing, and I'm like this. But no, there's loads and loads of room in here, and a flat floor as well, so it's really easy to move through. Let's check out the boot. At first glance, looks quite small, but it's actually got 238 litres of boot space. These rear seats can slide, and they can slide back to 16 centimetres. If you slide them forwards, that gives you 351 litres of boot space. So if you want to, rather than having obviously all that knee room spare in the back of the car, you can actually just slide the seats forward a bit and then that gives you a much bigger boot. This parcel shelf though, if we take that out, because it slides, it's got this fabric here. But perhaps you can just see, there's actually quite a decent amount of boot space there. And actually underneath here, there's more boot space under there. There's a place for store your cables and everything. So yeah, so you've got a good sort of, what, 20 centimetres depth there below this floor. And then this boot can be made bigger as well. So it's actually quite a lot of storage in here. We're going to show you these fancy seats and how all the different configurations and stuff work later on in the video, so keep watching for that. Let's see how it drives. On rural country lanes like these, the Hyundai Inster is actually really well at home. It's narrower than a lot of other crossover type cars, so the benefit is that on narrow roads like this, you don't have to worry about your wing mirrors getting hit or scratching the side with hedges and so on, because it's easier to place on the road. It gives you a commanding view. It feels almost sort of van-like in a way. It reminded me a bit of the Nissan Townstar sort of seating position. You're a bit more upright, a bit more sat as if you were sat on a dining chair. But that gives you a really good view out, really good visibility all round. And I say, when you're on these sort of narrow country roads, it's really, really easy to place, and the power and stuff isn't an issue, is it? Because you tend to be sort of doing 30, 40 miles an hour max, really, on these. So, in sport mode, it'll do 0 to 60 in 10.6 seconds, which, although that's not rapid by most electric car standards, is actually quite quick compared to other city cars, things like the Fiat Panda, for example, or the Hyundai i10, Kia Picanto, that sort of thing. Performance is perfectly adequate. You can keep it with motorway traffic, go for an overtake, no issue, 60, 65, 70. So yeah, it's very easy to drive. In fact, it drives very much like any other electric car. Now, this is a smaller car, than the Ioniq 5. It's got a smaller footprint, but internal space is really good because you've got these really high roofs, so you sat more upright in it. You've got quite a high viewpoint, certainly compared to other cars on the road. You're more crossover sort of height compared to a normal hatchback. A bit of wind noise. We kind of expect that, really, because of the shape of the car. It's not too intrusive at all. All specifications come with speed adjusting cruise control with lane keep, so we can set it to 70 miles an hour and it will steer to keep us in the lane. It will accelerate and brake if there's a car in front that slows down. If you go to the cross spec, then you get a blind spot camera, like we've seen previously in the Hyundai Santa Fe. You also get then blind spot monitoring as well. It's got sensors there as well for you. But sort of sitting centrally in the range, this O2 spec is pretty good. The only option you've got on this, apart from paint colour, is to go for the tech pack. Now the tech pack includes a digital key, which means you get to use your mobile phone as a key, if you want to do that, and a vehicle to load capability, which gives you a 3-pin plug down in the centre console down here, under where that storage bin is in this car, and means that you can use the car to run 240 volt appliances, things like a kettle. So you could take an actual domestic kettle with you and boil yourself a cup of tea at the side of the road. Or if you want to use the car for camping, for example, the roof bars will take up to 75 kilos, so you can fit a roof tent on there, no worries. But that tech pack costs £500, so it's just a case of are you going to use the vehicle to load feature? Do you like the idea of being able to use your mobile phone as a key? If not, then probably 500 quid saved. All new cars are mandated that they have to have various safety equipment on them. Part of that is a speed limit warning system, where it has a camera which reads the speed limit changes, and if you go over that speed, it will warn you and it'll beep to warn you that you're speeding. Because it's camera based, it can pick up speed limits which perhaps are finished and there was a truck blocking the sign, so it didn't see the speed limit change. So you don't want it to be beeping all the time. So very simply, without taking your eyes off the road, you can hold down this mute button here and it turns off the speed limit warning sounds. So that means that you don't have to delve through loads of touch screens to find that or anything. You just hold down that button and that turns off the speed limit warning. It still tells you what the speed limit is down on the screen here, so you as a driver can still glance at that and see what the speed limit is. But the good news is it's not binging and bonging when it shouldn't be. The Hyundai Inster is quite a small car. It's certainly got a small footprint on the ground, and it's got a relatively small boot. It looks like it, but it's actually quite configurable. I think we can fit these 4 dining chairs in here. Let's give it a go. Well, that was easy. What about if you want really long loads in there? Let's try that. This clothes dryer, about 5 foot long, goes in. Piece of cake. In fact, 6 feet plus will fit in here absolutely fine. In fact, this interior is so adaptable. You can actually fold all 4 seats flat, and it gives you enough room for a bed. This is actually a double-sized airbed, and it fits in great. Look. Fancy a cozy little camping trip? Why not? So the onboard AC charger on the Hyundai Inster is rated up to 11 kilowatts. Now most domestic properties in the UK just have 7 kilowatt maximum charging because it's single phase electric. That means if we plug it in, it'll go from 0 to 100% in about 7 hours for the long range version, or about 5.5 hours if you've got the standard range version. You plug it in and it locks in so you can't pull it back out again, and leave it overnight, and when you come to it next day, fully charged. But for rapid charging, we'll take it to the rapid charger and see what it does. Up to 120 kilowatts is what they claim. Let's have a look. So Hyundai claims a rapid charging speed of around 120 kilowatts. We've just plugged in and the battery, to be fair, was already almost half full, and it's charging at 82 kilowatts maximum charge speed we've seen so far. But that means that it's going to go from 10 to 80% in around 22 minutes if you connect to one of these high power chargers. So the Hyundai Inster comes with BlueLink connectivity, which means it's got its own SIM card built-in data connection, and that allows you to use the Hyundai BlueLink app on your phone to be able to do things like set the climate control on and off, lock the car, check that the car is locked, unlock it if needs be. It also means you can check the position of the car, and you can check the status of things like the 12-volt battery and the tyre pressures and things. But that only works if the car's in an area where it has a data signal. Now if you're in the middle of somewhere remote, if you're in the countryside, it might be that that doesn't have a signal. You can still do remote climate control though, using the key. So as long as the key is in range of the car, you can hold down this button here, which has a little hold button. It's like a sort of arrow swirling around. Hold that down, that actually turns the climate control on remotely. And that'll work when you're up close here. It'll actually work anywhere that the key works, so pretty much up to about 50 metres away. And it works all the way over here. So driving around urban areas like this, you're going to get much better efficiency than you are when you're driving on the motorway. That's true of all electric cars. In this one though, since we charged up, and we've driven mainly sort of rural roads and obviously now on city streets as well, we're averaging 5.3 miles per kilowatt hour, which means with the 49 kilowatt hour battery that we've got in here, effectively that's sort of 250 miles of range which is possible, which is better than the WLTP figure. If you're looking at the long term, I mean we've done in total 136 miles since we picked up the car. We're averaging 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, most of which was on the motorway. 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour means you're going to see probably close to around 180 miles real world range on this charge. So depending on how you drive and the sort of driving you do, it's going to affect your overall, autonomy on the electric charge. But certainly if you're buying this to use mainly as a commuting car, in the city particularly, the range is going to be really, really good and hold up really, really well. And it's a very efficient car because it is quite lightweight and it is quite small, which is great to see. The Hyundai Inster range starts from just 23,505. That's for the 01 spec with the 42 kilowatt hour standard range battery. Now you get the option of going for the 01 spec with a bigger battery, or if you want, you go to the 02 spec, which is what we've got here, and that comes with the 17-inch alloys projector LED headlamps. It comes with the tinted windows, sliding rear bench, heated driver and passenger seat, heated steering wheel, etc. That's from 26,755. If you go for the Cross, that's got 360-degree cameras, blind spot monitoring, electric opening sunroof, and it's got different alloy wheel design as well. That's 28,755. Overall though, I think this makes a really good package, and I think it's really competitively priced. If you're in the market for a car which is this sort of size for 4 adults, it can't really be beaten. Hope you've liked this video. If you have, please click the like button down there, it really helps us out. And if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you'll see these latest videos as they go live. Click up here to subscribe. If you click up here, you can see more information about the Hyundai Inster on our website. If you click down here, you can see the video review we did of the Hyundai Kona EV, and if you click down here, you can see the video review of the Hyundai Ioniq 5.